Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 30th. Here are the top stories we are covering for you this morning. Take another look real quick, Kevin, at some of our ground video.
Wow.
That was way more than a close call, because you're right, had that car not been there.
Right.
Those
two folks would have got clipped right there. Look, I think they realized just what a close call that they just avoided.
And it's almost unbelievable because it does look wet, and that's what's so deceiving about black ice.
Mm-hmm.
It looks wet. It looks like you're fine, and the next thing you know,
right,
you're spinning out of control.
Your vehicle's out of control.
Okay, now to a story we've been following overnight. A woman beaten with a baseball bat and killed. It all unfolded just after midnight in Beachview. An accident on a road in Westmoreland County ends with the death of a pedestrian. This all happened last night on Freeport Road. Also overnight, police are investigating the shooting of a teenager in Garfield. According to the city 911, a 16-year-old boy was shot in the thigh around midnight on Cornwall Street, and police have not commented on any suspects. The teen was taken to Children's Hospital. In news developing overnight, a shooting leaves one person dead in Beltuver, and it all happened around 3:30 this morning on Beltuver Avenue. We are checking with the medical examiner, and we'll let you know as soon as any information is available about the victim. New developments this morning in the Ben Roethlisberger lawsuit. The Steelers star is now seeking counter damages. Roethlisberger maintains Andrea McNulty is falsely accusing him of rape. The response filed by his attorney claims she planned to seduce him. A judge has denied requests to throw McNulty's lawsuit out twice. One request was made by Roethlisberger's attorney, the second by Harrah's employees named in the lawsuit. Well, things aren't that bad in Pittsburgh, but we have some measurable amounts. Here's Channel 11 news reporter Vince Sims.
Severe weather Team 11 forecast in high definition.
That was a close call. Talk about weather.
Was, yeah. Weather's been thoroughly nasty lately, hasn't it?
It has. But it's going to get better, I understand.
You noticed that 5-day, didn't you?
Oh, yes. It's beautiful.
Where do you see this?
Dozens of customers are expected to have water service restored this morning after a water main break. Good morning, it's 5:09, and here's a live look now at the Parkway East at Swissvale. It looks like the traffic is moving along right there. Meanwhile, a dance instructor accused of giving alcohol to students will head to trial after a student testified against her. But I can tell you it has been a roller coaster for the family members over the past 24 hours. So you can just imagine what it was like when they found out that Burton Deering was alive. We were there for this very emotional, incredible reunion, and it's something you'll see only on 11.
Oh my God, I'm so worried about you. We're going to go ahead and get him down on the stretcher. You guys can give him a kiss, all right?
It was a happy ending after a very long, exhaustive search for 87-year-old Burton Deering. State police found him near the railroad tracks on Timberland Road, just a few miles from his house.
It really goes to show you how wonderful people are in a crisis and how they all try to stick together. And it made it work. And we found him, and it was scary. I didn't think we were going to, but we did.
The search was extremely difficult because Deering, who was wearing camouflage, blended in with the woods. But fortunately, at the last minute, a trooper spotted him.
The helicopter was taking a pass between a wooded area and the railroad tracks, and it's very dense brush down there, probably over 6 feet high. And as they flew over, the rotor wash pushed down the brush, and one of the troopers in the chopper was able to look down and saw him laying on the ground. Initially, he thought he was dead, but he sat up.
And fortunately, all is well tonight. Deering, who may be suffering from mild dehydration, has been taken to a local hospital for observation. That's the very latest tonight. Live in Clay Township, Kimberly Easton, Channel 11 News. Many people are trying to cope with all of this snow. Now, I spent most of the morning in the Arlington section of Pittsburgh. It is extremely bad there, so much so we couldn't even get our live truck there. In fact, we had to move our live truck down here to a main road just so that we would be able to go live tonight and tell you our story. Now, when we got to this neighborhood, we found actually that the road had not been cleared on one particular street, and there was no power there. We also found a family on the brink of a medical emergency. We have to walk 2 streets away. We can't get our vehicle
up here.
As we work to get to the people trapped inside of their homes without power here in Arlington, we had to bail out of our own live truck. We started walking on foot, but didn't get too far.
A lot of people stuck. I've been pulling people out left and right.
We then cut a ride with the owner of Southside Motors. He had a 4-wheel drive. On our way, we passed a Duquesne Light crew working to restore the power, but the 4-wheel drive would only get us so far. We still had to walk the rest of the way. We finally arrived at our destination an hour later.
It's knee deep here.
And the lights were back on.
We was on the way out the door, and all of a sudden, just when we got to the door, you see the bags packed. It just came on.
Haven Powell says he was taking his 3-year-old son, Xavier, who has sickle cell anemia, to the hospital.
Sickle cell ain't nothing to play with.
He says the power went off and on for days. The last time it stayed off for more than 18 hours, and his son had to go without.
No breathing treatment, and we just had to try to keep him wrapped up. We don't want it to get bad, because if it gets to the point to get out of hand, now we're looking at the hospital.
While Haven kept his son stable, a neighbor tried to get to work.
I'm a nurse. I have to get to work. I obviously can't drive in this kind of weather.
Since Judy Watson couldn't go anywhere, she said she prayed nothing would happen.
God forbid we couldn't get, if we would have a medical emergency, I don't know how an ambulance would even get to us.
It's scary. It's very scary, and not only that, the temperature, dealing with a sickle cell kid is really, it's real bad.
And there is good news tonight. Little Xavier is said to be fine. We also understand that a plow is on the way to clear the road where he lives so that he'll be able to make it to the hospital in case of emergency. That's the very latest tonight. Live on the South Side, Kimberly Easton, Channel 11 News. That's right. No matter how you look at it, this was a very brutal attack. Police say the suspect punched the victim so hard he broke the man's false teeth in half. Many of his teeth were found on the ground. It happened in front of dozens of witnesses, a North Purcell's police sergeant, and it's all caught on camera.
He just cold cocked him. There was no saying, hey, you, this. He just went up and whack. See, and there's the guy going down right there.
Chief James Comunel says from this camera you can see 55-year-old Paul Washington anxiously waiting on someone. And from this angle you can see Walmart greeter 72-year-old Thomas Jenkins headed towards the door. Then, for no known reason, you see the attack on Jenkins.
Here comes Paul. Wham! There it is. Yep, perfect view.
Then you see Washington calmly walking away, as if nothing ever happened. Jenkins falls to the ground, and with the help of witnesses, Sergeant Vincent DeCenzo quickly puts 2 and 2 together.
Because they were all pointing to the car. Everybody's pointing to the car. Like, that guy there, he hit him, and I guess we were in the right place at the right time. Thank God. Because this guy has, he has a lot of facial injuries.
That punch broke all the bones on the left side of Jenkins' face.
That's a shame. That's not right.
That's terrible. There should be a law against that.
There is, and that's why police immediately apprehended Washington at the scene.
It was only less than probably 10, 15 seconds after he hit the guy that he was taken into custody.
And once in custody, police say Washington told them he punched Jenkins because he had bumped into him. Jenkins remains in very serious condition tonight at UPMC Presby. Live from North Purcell's, Kimberly Easton, Channel 11 News.